Hello and welcome to the Knit Girls. This is episode 654. I'm Laura, also known as Lala.
I am Leslie, also known as You Don't Call Me Les. Today is Tuesday.
It was a federal holiday yesterday in the United States, Memorial Day.
Today's the 28th of May, 2024. Laura and I both use the she/her pronouns, and Laura's off for the summer.
I am for 2 whole months.
Barring a couple of short jaunts for report card duty and some other stuff.
And all the work for SSK.
Yeah, now that Laura's off work, I'll get a text at like 11:30, like, XYZ needs this for SSK, and then I'll get another one like half an hour later. We should look at XXX for this, and I'm like, I'm just going to have to leave it unread until I get to a point where I can do it.
Because usually I don't text Leslie during the school day.
Yeah.
So now I'm free and clear and have already flipped
and you're
my
getting things done. There's
schedule.
Nothing wrong with that.
Oh, yeah. Class sign-ups are going on for SSK, so that's exciting, and it's nice to see what everyone's excited about with classes. So I had to order $100 worth of stationery last night to help me organize. They would not get done. So I have like a new erasable highlighter coming, and more ink refills for my fountain pens, and a new purple color. I did not buy the new purple Lamy Safari to match them, so I should get bonus points for that.
Don't you already own a Lamy Safari?
I do, but not in the new exclusive color.
Oh.
I own 3 actually, and they all have different colored ink in them right now. But yeah, so that's underway, and I have decided I want to knit all the sweaters this summer, so we'll see how that goes. Would you speaking of sweaters, both of us are working on sweaters right now. Would you like to go first, or would you like me to go first?
Usually go one.
Okay, I'm almost at the end of this row, so I will in a second. I cast on the Recalibrate sweater by Sheena Lines Designs. I have one already out of hand spun in my wardrobe, and I really, really like it. And last fall, I won extras of this fiber from David of Southern Cross Fibers in a drawing, and so I got 2 extra bags. So it made the perfect sweater amount. So this sweater, I am not set up well. Hold please. It is knit in strips, and so it is a modular design. Those are the words that are coming out of my mouth.
If you've watched us for a while, you've seen one or the other of us knit one of these.
So it starts with the center and back panel, and then you pick up stitches along the side and start working sideways. So I'm on that section. This is all hand spun. It is a merino rose blend from Southern Cross Fibers. Unfortunately, David's not dyeing anymore, and I have it on an Acre Kate, so I can just hang it beside me. I like these because you can also use those purse hangers, and I have a table that sits right beside me, so it can dangle off of that as well, or I can put it in my Acrework Kate, and it can just spin freely. So those are the colors. This is half of what I have to ply. This is a 3-ply, so it's going to be nice and plump. My other one was a 2-ply, so it'll be fun to see the differences there as well. So this was the first 700 yards, and then after like 4 hours applying, I got bored, and I was like, I want to start knitting, so I cut them, and I'll continue flying probably tomorrow. But yeah, things that I did differently with this one. Laura Nelkin has a tutorial for casting on, let me find my provisional cast-ons, with these little tubes. This 2.5 millimeter tubing that you can get a lot of different places.
Sellers like trying on tubing.
Yeah. So I used that tutorial to do my provisional cast on and to hold my stitches, and I just have them tied in knots. I did have an incident with this one where I sat on the tubing and it all came out, which is why they're knotted now. So I did lose a couple of stitches on this one that I will figure out when I get to that point. But that is my main thing that I am working on. Shayna's got a cal going on for her patterns, but it ends June 1st. And I don't think, like...
Yeah,
unless I was doing 12 hours a day, which is not healthy, I don't think that I can do this. Because I time myself on each row, and it's 5 minutes. So, it would be intense. And we're not going to injure ourselves over knitting. So that is the first thing on my needles. And the second thing on my needles is a sock, which is in the middle of the row because I was knitting on it. So now that school's out, I have like all my doctors, dentist, all those appointments, you know, that I can make during the summertime. So I was knitting on this at the doctor's this morning, so it's in the middle of the row. But I have a wee toe of a sock. This is Nomadic Yarns in the Everlasting Gobstopper colorway. It was one of her Willy Wonka colorways. So, and this is a lemon wood holder that I got at Maryland Sheep and Wool, and it's got Urban Girls design on it, which you cannot see, but once it gets smaller, you'll be able to. So yeah, I am knitting that on size 0 needles. The sweater's being knit on size 5. Oh, speaking of needles, this is my 5th project I think I've done with my Fortes now. And I really am enjoying them. They are my go-to needles. So, I got the Forte interchangeable set, and they are nice and sharp. I've not used any of the larger needles. I don't tend to use over a size 9 very often, so I've just used the small cable needles, but I've been enjoying them so far. And those are the 2 things that I am actively working on. I have the Pentapilla pullover, which got a single row done on it, mainly because I was stealing these needles off of it. And then that is it for what I am actively working on when it comes to knitting. How about you?
Well, I went to get a couple of skeins out of the bin that I have of everything that I bought last year at SSK, and I expected there to be 2 skeins of yarn left.
You expected it to be like an empty bin.
Almost. There were 4 left.
Oh no.
So I had forgotten about a Spotted Circus reverse speckle and an additional perfect mustache perfect match set. Must match set, that's what it's called. Almost called it Perfect Day. Which is a yarn dyer, a friend of ours who hasn't dyed in at least a decade.
Oh, probably longer than that now.
So, yeah, so I've got 4 skeins left where I thought I had less. But no big deal. I still got 2 months. Still pretty confident that I can get it done. The thing that I'm mostly working on, oh goodness, is a sweater. Last week I was just working on the ribbing.
You've gotten a ton done on that.
This looks very small. It's just scrunched on small needles. It is intended to probably fit me. If it doesn't, it'll go in the try-it-on room and someone will love it and take it home. So this is the R&R hoodie by Tanis Lavelle. Everything we talk about is linked on our show notes. And our show notes are on our website, which is TheKnitGirlls.com. 3 L's and KnitGirls. So I just decided to stripe, and I started to do the pockets in a stripe, and then realized that would be a lot of ends to weave in, and I didn't want to do that. So
I love them in the solid.
I did them in the same color as the hem, and I'm just going to steek this. So I've added 3 stitches in the center. Some of them are very loose because I haven't gone back and tightened them, but every time I do it wrong. But I've added 3 stitches in the center, so I'll use a sewing machine and stabilize row number 1 and row number 3, and then on the reverse side, that middle row will be a knit column, and I'll just cut straight through that. The back is a mess. That's because I'm striping, so there's lots of colors there.
How are you going to deal with that end management? Are you just going to fold them into your steek?
No, I'll cut them once I've secured everything.
Yeah.
Then I'll trim them down to like 1/2 inch.
Okay.
And then I will probably secure it down with grosgrain ribbon or something on the inside. Yeah. I haven't decided that. I had planned on doing an I-cord edging along the sides where the zipper will go, but I don't have enough of this blue, and I'm determined not to buy anything. So this is the body, and this is up to the armpits. Well, it's raglan, but it's knit from the bottom up. So I cast on for the sleeves, and our friend Ruthie, who we met through Patreon, but we both consider her a friend at this point. She had sent me a link through our WhatsApp chat of Heidi Kermayer was demonstrating a way to do sleeves out of like handspun or Noro, where you don't have to worry about trying to match the sleeves, because you just knit it essentially in one big tube and you steek it. And I'm already steeking for this sweater, so why the hell not? So I cast on, this is both sleeves, and in the middle of each one I've got that steek section again. So this way, if I knit each sleeve separately, then I would have all those ends from each time I changed color. Yeah. And I don't want to do that. So with this solves that problem. I'll secure the stitches again with a sewing machine, and then I'll have to stitch or steek and then seam up to under the arm, which I don't mind seaming.
I do.
Especially if it saves me from having to weave in a million ends. Like 100% I'll take seaming over that. So yeah, that method is, again, it's linked in our show notes. And our show notes are on our website, TheKnitGirlls. I'm just at the point where I'm increasing, but I used every single bit of the blue that I had left for the cuffs.
Oh.
And they're about 2 rows short of what they should be, which is not a big deal.
So what are you going to do for your trim at the top?
I may use a different color, like use the red or the gray or something. I'm not sure. I'll cross that bridge when we get there. And if I end up having to buy a mini skein or something.
Yeah, I was going to say, he does sell like half skeins and mini skeins.
But so I'm determined to try.
Yeah.
To make it work without buying anything.
Absolutely.
So, yeah. And then I'm going to visit a friend this weekend, and I wanted something that was less complicated than this. So I cast on a hat, and I'll probably cast on a pair of sport weight socks as well, just so I'll have something in case I finish. This is Yarn Cafe Creations in the Ocean Mist colorway. I really like this sort of greeny, minty color. And I cast on for the Muscle Burra. It's all scrunched up again because I've got it on a small circumference needle. But I weighed it once I finished with the increases, so I need to have 10 grams-ish left. So I'll knit until I get to, about 10 grams left, and then I'll decrease and hopefully have very little left over, because Muscle Burr is, it's like a worm. It's like one long tube with 2 rounded ends, and then you fold it inside of each other, so it's a double layered hat.
That is true.
Yeah, that is what I'm working on right now. These are on 4s, and my R&R hoodie is on 8s. That's the super exciting knitting that I've been working on.
Did you finish anything?
Mm-hmm. I finished one thing.
I finished my emotional support chicken, which y'all saw in progress. And when I tell you I don't like seaming, I don't like seaming. It took me 2 hours to seam it up. but the person that I gave it to loved it so very, very much. So totally worthwhile. And I got to get like super old over twisted handspun out of the stash and some other really old cascade yarn out of the stash. So that was both really, really cool. So that happened, and maybe I'll get Leslie to put a picture here, but if not, you can find it on my Instagram, which is La Knits. And I can put it on the Knit Girls Instagram as well. So that got finished, and then the other thing that I got finished that I still have to weave in most of the ends to is I finished my Lollipop Yarns Afterthought heel socks. So these two little shorties are done, and
You call them shorties. Those are completely full length for me.
yeah, I mean anything less than like 4 inches is short for me. I don't know. So they are done. I just need to weave in all those ends. That is the one downside of Afterthought heel socks, is they do have a few more ends. But those are the two things that I have finished.
I am
But you
pulling
said
from the inside and the outside of
Oh,
these
so
cakes.
you're getting twisted.
So every now and then I'll get a twisted section because I'm holding the yarn double, making a worsted out of fingering. Alright, so yep, I finished something that was mostly done for a month or more, and I just needed to do the crown shaping and weave in ends and stuff.
Oh!
So this is a brioche ear flap hat, and again, links in the show notes.
Super cute.
It uses a skein of the confetti colorway from Camellia Fiber Arts, and then a skein of Electric Disco from Republica Unicornia. And I've got at least the same amount left, so I'm going to make some mitts. But yeah, I added the pattern call for you, adding a little braided section, which is cute. I did have a couple of extra ends to weave in, but I wove them down to the point where I could just incorporate them in the braid.
Very smart.
So it's squishy and it's big. It's got lots of space in it.
Yeah, it'll be great for when you have to pay the dog tax in the winter time.
Yeah. So I don't know. I might keep it. I might not. We'll see. But it's done.
Yay!
That did not get woven in tightly enough. Oh, that's from the cast on, not from the weave-in. Alright, I'm just going to stop looking at it, so stop being
It'll
annoyed
block.
by it. Yeah, that's all I've got. I don't have any spinning. I don't think I did any embroidery this week either.
You do any watercolor?
No.
No.
I just hasn't been a lot of desire for watercolor right now. I did try to sew something and then I realized I cut it wrong, so whatever. I'll fix it at some point. Do you have spinning?
I do have some spinning. So I did ply what I'm working with right now, but I also finally got some skeins that have been plied that have been just sitting there wound off. So, and they've been washed. In fact, they were sitting outside drying, and a spider was on one when I went to pick it up. It was a surprise for everyone. This is Knits and Pearls on her tweedy base, so you can see those bits of tweed in there. And this is Wednesday in Enid from the show Wednesday. So the Wednesday sections are all like shades of gray, and the Enid sections are all like bright colors.
Like their room.
Yep. So that is done, and that's around 400 yards. And then this, I need to find the tag for this bat. I know it's from Knit Spin Farm. Also, when I was winding it, my Daedalus winder has a pause button, which I didn't realize, and I thought I was hitting the clear button, so it didn't log any of the
bummer.
winding yardage. So I'll have to count my loops or just rewind and figure it out. But yeah, 2 skeins done. I have 2 more skeins to just wind off, and then a bunch of stuff to ply. So I'll get there. Those are my done things for right now. Yeah, nothing much else is going on. I've been re-listening to the Mercy Thompson series by Patricia Briggs as I've been knitting. So I own, it's kind of like Alana Andrews for me. I go back and when a new book's coming out, I re-listen to the last few to make sure I remember what's happening.
Yeah.
Because usually, you know, it's once a year. So, and I am forgetful. Yep. But I actually started this time way back at the beginning. I probably haven't listened to the beginning book in 7 or 8 years, the first book, because she's on like 16 now. And there are elements that pop up in later in the series, and you're like, oh, that was alluded to way back in book. Like, she had that mapped out the whole time. That's interesting.
That's cool.
So yeah, it's interesting going back and re-listening.
That's the one where she's a coyote,
yep.
Right? Okay.
She's a skinwalker, and she grew up with a pack of werewolves. So it's an adult paranormal fantasy. It also has fae in it, vampires, all the creatures that go bump in the night, old gods, all sorts of things. So, and it does have some, not in the first book, but in the third or fourth, there's a pretty graphic rape scene. So, just a trigger warning on that.
Well, mine's been not quite so, I don't know. Man, words are hard. My brain is just, like, shutting off. I had to go to the eye doctor yesterday, and I have to get glasses, because I'm officially at the point where if I try to read something, I have to do this to get my eyes to focus.
Aww.
So, I did not buy glasses there.
Are those your blue light glasses?
These are just my blue light.
Yeah,
that I was working until Laura got here. So, yep. So I've officially hit that point, which is a bummer.
Are you gonna get the ones that with the magnets where you can pair eyewear where you can keep switching them?
I have not. I just bought a couple of relatively inexpensive pair to get started with, but
yeah,
the optometrist was perhaps 26.
Aww.
She was very tiny and young, but nice. So
that's good.
I'm listening to a new to me series called Eclipsed Evolution by Kim Harrison.
Oh, I like Kim Harrison. The Hollow series is the one that I've read by her.
She does she's written a lot. Like, this is, I don't know that I've read stuff by her before. I've definitely seen stuff by her. This is like a first contact kind of
interesting
thing. And the audiobooks are relatively short. They're about 4 or 5 hours. And I'm on the second out of 3. So I'm reading Half a Soul. I'm rereading it. I've read it before, but there are 2 new books in the series. It's Society, London Society, ish. I don't remember what the time frame is. Early 1900s, late 1800s maybe. And there are elements of fae and magic involved. I'm still watching Grey's Anatomy. I'm up to season 15.
You're getting there.
I'm ready to be done with it.
Oh.
But now I'm invested, so I'm going to finish it. I don't have a whole lot more to go anyway. So
how many seasons is it total?
I think there's 18 or 19 on Netflix.
Okay.
But I believe it's still airing.
Yeah, it is still airing, I believe. Yeah.
But
that's good knitting.
Yeah. I don't have to think about it. Kobe's been playing the new Paper Mario and the 1,000-Year Door, so I've been watching him and heckling him and knitting. And that's really it.
You've gotten a ton of knitting done.
I have gotten quite a bit done, so I'm happy with that. I would like to get the sleeves joined to the body before I go out of town, but I will not be sad if I don't make that.
And you're gonna see pigs.
I am. I'm gonna see piglets and goats and chickens and
ugly
dogs
chickens
and all sorts of stuff. So I'm excited. And I will get to meet Christine's wife, who I have
Oh,
not met
you've
yet,
never met
so-
Amanda. I met Amanda. So,
when you went to
yeah, at
Wisconsin,
Wisconsin, yeah.
I did not go, so
I just assume that we go everywhere together sometimes.
I am very difficult to get out of my house, but not as difficult as my husband. So, any other items that you wanted to
I
talk
don't think
about?
so. Stash Dash is going on. You can find it on our Discord, which is linked in the show notes, which Leslie's already talked about. We'll have some fail along Patreons coming up.
We'll have 2 in June because we missed May and time just got away from us. So.
Yep. It was a very busy month for both of us. So yeah. Ready to roll.
Yep.
Ready to get all the sweaters done.
Summer is here, so Laura is going to be knitting her little hands off and spinning. She usually does a lot of spinning in the summer too. But you're doing a processing thing, right?
I am. Oh, I forgot to mention that. So I have a lot of fleeces, and most of them are washed. 3 are not. But I would like to get one processed all the way through. So either carded or combed, and then spun, and then knit. So we'll see how much I can really get done. I've been popping open locks of a CVM fleece that is only around 2 pounds. So I am going to combine it with some Erie silk as well. I'm going to see how much it weighs before I start doing that percentage.
What is Erie silk?
It's just a type of silk. It's like honey in color. Which will go well with the color of the fleece. A lot of times silk's named after like the type of silkworms or the region or what they eat. Like mulberry would be what they eat. And all the silk we get as spinners is silk waste for the most part from the fashion industry. Unless you're growing the cocoon, going through the whole process yourself, which you totally can. We don't have the type of food that those
the worms have
would
the
eat.
larvae.
But yeah, there's people. I took a class many years ago with Pat ZZ down in Jackson while you were in
Jersey.
About reeling silk and boiling cocoons and stifling the worms and all the things. And realized that was not going to be something that I ever had any interest in.
I'd like to try it once, but I don't foresee it being something I
It seems more
to
like a
do.
Michael project than a Leslie project.
Well, just the unwinding of the cocoon.
Oh, gotcha.
That's the only part I'd be interested in.
You don't want
The
to...
raising the worms and essentially killing them so that you can reclaim the silk.
Now, there is some ethical silk where they let them...
Right.
It just breaks more of the fibers.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah.
Okay, well, I think we've blathered on quite enough. You guys have a great week and weekend, and we'll talk to you next week.
Bye, y'all.
Bye.